looking at the neighborhood. The house on the left is the Etchigon home. This family consisted of Gene Etchigon, his wife, Helen, and their 2 daughters, Betty and Janet. It was built in 1939, about the same time as the Paul home. The Paul household consisted of Charles, or Charlie W. Paul, his wife Ethel, also known as Max, and their 3 sons, Merlin, Wilmer, and Charles. Next to the Paul house was the home owned by Dr. Dunbar and his wife Gertrude. Dr. Dunbar was a dentist in Elko. He installed a unique prefab metal home. When it was first built, it had a flat roof, but because it had a tendency to leak, they later put a sloped roof on it. Approximately 7 years later, the attorney George Wright lived there with his family. The next house belonged to District Judge Milton B. Batt and his family, Gertrude, his wife, and 2 children, Nancy and Milton Jr. The background in this scene shows what we used to call the flats. The flats were a huge playground for the neighborhood children. This view is looking toward an early landfill dump that was located near the airport and the Mountain City Highway. I believe a church has been built on the old dump site. Dr. Dunbar is spading his garden. Charles Leo Paul, born in November of 1939, is in the foreground. Behind Dr. Dunbar can be seen Judge Batt working in his garden. Behind Charles are the neighbors' groves. This is Gertrude Batt, and here her husband Milton. Working on the shovel is Charlie Paul, shoveling topsoil into his garden space from a pile of topsoil dumped on Cedar Street. No mechanical loaders in those days. Each grove had a vegetable garden. During the World War II, we called these victory gardens. These gardens produced prized vegetables. You can see Wilmer Merlin showing off some of the large carrots, beets the size of sugar beets, and the cabbages were huge. As Wilmer and Merlin grew older, they had their own grove, but this was considerably smaller. Dr. Dunbar gave them some sweet-smelling doubled wild roses that he had bred. The boys would mow lawns to earn money to send for other choice plants and flowers, and this started a lifelong hobby of gardening. Many fond memories remain from these groves.